Do you want to succeed in life? Go with justice and make decisions like a judge. Every action you take, look at it with a very holistic view, making sure no detail is left out. Suddenly, you will discover that you are capable of much more. Let's take a simple example. A person who wants to earn money. He opens a business and wants to progress in life. What does he tell himself? What motivates him to work, to act, to develop, to advance? I want money. I want a livelihood. I want to get rich. That's nice. But look at it from a more comprehensive perspective. Think about the implications. Not just, I want money so I can have a house, but I want money so I can help many people. There are people in need who have no food at home, and I want God to bless me with such abundance that I can help many families. I live in a neighborhood where they haven't built a synagogue, and I want to help build one there. Now, he will work hard, he will strive. When a person introduces an ideology into his material goals, it gives him motivation. If it's only about making ends meet, he will exert only enough effort to get by. But with a higher perspective, he realizes, I am capable, I can do this. Let me think outside the box and come up with new ideas. How can I develop things? When spirituality enters material pursuits, it gives a person life. It breathes energy into him, and he may suddenly realize that he has powers he didn't know about. He starts thinking differently, thinking deeper. While others have finished thinking, he is just beginning and taking several steps ahead. This is true in every field. Let's imagine a person who manufactures screws. He has a factory, and he also manufactures beds and other metal products, including screws for the Iron Dome. When he wakes up in the morning, he can say to himself, what am I going to do today? I'm going to produce screws all day, or produce screws all day. Or he could say, what am I going to do today? I'm going to be part of the production of a system that will protect the people of Israel. Why limit yourself to thinking small? Look at it from a spiritual and higher perspective. A more extreme example. A person works in cleaning hospitals and washes restrooms. The work may seem degrading, and that's how he feels. But if in the morning he says to himself, my job is to be an assistant to the doctor in sterilizing. Without clean restrooms, people will get sick and die. What am I going to do? I'm going to clean, I'm going to disinfect. I'm a life-saving doctor in my own way. A woman changing her child's diaper might think, this annoying child is just bothering me today. Instead of reading a book, I have to change diapers. But she could also say to herself, right now, I'm doing a kindness for a helpless baby who has no one else to help him in life. Only I can save him. I can help him. He's not just my son, he's my responsibility. If not me, then who? When I bring both the spiritual and the practical together, I know I'm not just helping, I'm saving lives. Yes, this is my son. I feed him, care for him, and raise him with kindness. But when I approach it with a higher spiritual perspective, the very act itself is elevated to a higher level. And it's important to remember that the reward a person receives in the world to come is even greater. The Mishnah Berurah raises an interesting question in Biur Halaha. What about a person who writes tefillin, mezuzot, and Torah scrolls and sells them for a living? Is he considered someone engaged in a mitzvah, or is he simply working to earn money? On one hand, he is dealing with sacred objects, but on the other, he is selling them. So, which is it? Is he considered someone who is engaged in a mitzvah, or is he simply working for money? The answer is profound. It depends on his mindset. If he thinks, I'm just doing this for the money, I don't really care if people have tefillin or mezuzot, I just happen to make my living by writing them, then he is not considered engaged in a mitzvah. But if he tells himself, I am helping people fulfill a sacred commandment, I am making it possible for a synagogue to have a Torah scroll, for a home to have a mezuzah, for another Jew to wear tefillin, then his work is elevated. Yes, he still needs to make a living, but his intention transforms his work into something greater, and his reward will reflect that. You are doing an act of kindness. When we moved to Beitar, there were only a few streets. Today, thank God,